How you doing? How you doing? Welcome back to InYaChest.
Is that on? Oh shit, it was on. Sorry. Sorry.
Well,
I'm looking at the zeros and I'm like, is that on?
Anyways, we're gonna leave it like that. We riding out. How you doing? Welcome to InYaChest.com.
It's the North Miami
Yeah.
education.
I was cussing.
Okay, it's all right. I'm Steve. This is Horace, and we're back with InYaChest. Our question for tonight, we're gonna go straight into it. We have a lot of questions, so I'm not gonna waste any time. The question came to me. This one came to me in person. I was in downtown Fort Lauderdale, talking to a gentleman. I guess he got frustrated with some customers, and I passed him one of our business cards, put them on our website. So he inquired. He had a question that he inquired about. He wanted me to answer. He wanted to know why are black people allergic to literature? And I thought he was joking. I'm like, you serious? He's like, yeah. You gave me a card and you said you'd answer anything. I want to know why black people are allergic to literature. I mean, you're the first guy today that came in here and actually read the instruction signs, read the instructions to sign your name here and so forth. So yeah, answer that for me. I don't know your name, sir, but you can answer that for me. Why are black people allergic to literature? So I
think some people feel like it's cool to not just abide by actual, certain things that you should do. Like, they just don't like to follow the rules, so they think it's cool. Like, oh, I gotta do that, whatever. You just find like, oh, I'll just find something else to do. They don't really take it seriously, so they don't really follow the rules. You know what I mean? And they find that it's kind of cool, but it comes off after a while of just being that way. That it's really like being like, you're not coming off of that kind of. You come off from other people that you're just being like kind of ignorant. You know what I mean?
Well, my outtake on it, I think that when people, for the gentleman that asked, when people enter the building, I think that a lot of people, if they're entering a government building like that, it usually is to take care of a problem. So when they enter the building, I think the first thing that's on their mind is getting rid of that issue, getting the hell out of here, beating the traffic, and just kind of don't really pay attention. They're probably frustrated and just irate with some situation that they have to handle because.
But that's what I'm saying. That goes back to what I was also saying, because I guarantee you probably from an adolescent, it's just like they find that it's kind of cool that it's just not by the rules. So that carries on to wherever they go. It's like, man, fuck, I ain't gotta do that. It's not a big deal to them. So in their mental state, it's like, what? That's not a big deal. I don't care where it's at. Government building, checkers. No matter where I go, it's like whatever. It's no big deal to me. Office building doesn't matter. It's like a mental state, like, I don't care. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. They just don't feel like it's a big deal.
Well, anyways, I don't know if I'm really answering his question well enough for him, but I personally don't like to read unless it's something interesting. And I just can't pick up a book and read just unless it's a must or it's just, capture my attention. Now, as far as why these customers are not reading the instruction signs in the building to sign in, it's probably
does it say sign in at the place?
Yeah, you walk in and
the arrow pointing down, like
sign in, check in before you pass this point.
I think I'm right about this, dog. They don't really feel like they're following the rules.
It's a habit.
Yeah, it's from an adolescent. That's like following the rules. Like, well, fuck it. The hell you gonna do to me?
I'm sorry, you had something to say, Casey?
I said maybe they really just did not see it. Like you're so focused on something else.
I've
done that before.
I believe that too, because like I'm saying, when your mind is distracted, you're frustrated, you're just walking in the building like, I'm here, I gotta take care of this ticket, and you just walking up, excuse me, and you just asking the person directly. You see a receptionist there, and you just kind of bypass all the BS. Excuse me, I need to get to this section. So he gets frustrated when there's a sign, 8.5 by 11 try sign there, and they don't read it, and it's just building up. And now
that's a good point, because it does depend on what kind of environment that you're entering. Yeah. That is true. So, like if you're going to like a convention and shit, where you really want to go, you really want to be there, and you'll see the sign, you'll see the sign that they could get a more relaxed state. So you're probably right.
And this doesn't apply to black people only. I think it applies to anybody that's dealing with.
Black people.
No, I'm saying the guy that asked me this. He said that why black people.
Oh, okay.
I'm just letting him know that this doesn't apply to one race only. Everyone has problems and distracted and stressed out. And that's why people get into accidents. They run a red light by an accident just because their mind is somewhere else. And that's why we forget to read fine prints on contracts, because we're so excited to get a new vehicle, we forget, so it's just normal behavior. But yeah, if that can help out with it. That's my opinion on why maybe the customers are bypassing the signs there and coming straight to you.
It also could probably be in the area where he's at. It's gonna be a majority of blacks, so you really can't really say is the blacks that's doing it. Maybe depending on the area where he's at, you know what I mean. If it's a certain majority black area, maybe it's an area where it's like it could be any ethnicity come through there, then he might have a different outlook on it. You know what I mean? But so he probably gonna say that statement because that's all he see every day.
Well, I hope he's not saying it. I hope he just saying it because he just asked why people are allergic to black literature. I hope he's just really narrowing it down to they're not reading signage because he didn't tell me that. I'm assuming, and that he's not talking about their speech, and that's where it can go back to the heritage, right? What Casey was saying earlier. She's, how Casey was saying that that African Americans weren't allowed to read at one point several years ago, and so some people might think that maybe it's just passed down through the bloodline.
I mean, limited vocab. I mean.
But you know what? That's more the majority in the South, though.
But I'm going back as far as the slavery days where you didn't learn to read until later on, and those who did learn to read, they probably talk a little different. And then what about those who never did learn to read good and they talked a certain way and their kids talked the way and their grandkids and this kept passing down. And that tended to happen.
That's true.
You can't fault them for that.
I'm not faulting anybody.
I'm not faulting. It's just
I'm thinking that this is what I'm thinking. Sorry to cut you off, that if they're the language that this gentleman considers is inappropriate to him, or he finds it uneducated, it's like going to a different country, Africa. They have their own dialect, okay, which may be normal to them, and may not be normal to us. So now we're going to say their language is inferior. It's kind of like saying that they're allergic to English. No, that's just how they communicate. And then for the person that came in there, if they came off talking a certain way, and she's going to cast his opinion saying that they're allergic to literature because they didn't. How should I say? They didn't follow the structural English system in America. Now he just kind of made a bad judgment.
But I'm sure that the difference is in the business world, you got to know how to turn it off. Because if you like say Africa, they have different tribes and different dialects. I'm sure if they're going for like some kind of job in that part of that country of Africa, they probably speak that same dialect. Probably, most likely, you know what I mean? And you go to Jamaica, you gotta know how to speak English, good English if you're gonna be in the career world. But that's just how they talk. But as far as, that's what I'm saying, you gotta know how to turn it off and on. You can't really say, I want some scrimp. I want some scrimps. You can't be saying stuff like that.
You have something to say, Casey?
I got something to say. Who are we to say what's right or wrong? I understand that they said this is the standard English language and this is how you should talk and this is how you should pronounce. But that's like the British and English. We have different, standards with our English. They spell certain words this way. They do math that way. We do math this way. Who came up with the idea and said this is the way people should talk? Yeah, this is correct, and everything else is incorrect.
Yeah, I understand. I agree.
Because back in the days, they said thou and art and we and this and we don't talk like that. Who's to say what's right and wrong?
That's true. Nothing is really acceptable. I'm just saying you should be more versatile. You know what certain things, places where you're trying to go, you should be able to turn it off and on. You know what I mean? Be versatile. That's gonna be like.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to turn it off if you want to get a job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you gotta play the
you gotta fit into the structure system. Yeah. Okay, all right. So that's our answer. We're gonna sign on that note. I'm Steve, InYaChest.com. We get several more answers. Stay tuned. We're out.